Thanks for tuning in to Mujeres de Pilar, Episode 2. I am so excited to introduce today's guests, Leti and Jamie Luna, founders of Buñuelitas. Buñuelitas is a mouth-watering glow-up from your traditional buñuelos and home of the buñuelo nachos. Hi, ladies.
Hey, girl.
Hello, good evening. Buenas noches.
I'm so excited to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us.
Finally, we're able to record. I gave a small introduction, right? I just read off of your guys' Instagram what Buñuelitas is, but I want a little bit more, some little bit background story. So, where did the concept of Buñuelitas come from?
Well, it came from, just having that itch for something sweet after dinner, where you have that craving. I'm a big ice cream lover, so of course I want ice cream with something else, and I try to mix it up, create my own thing. So one night we decided to mix in the buñuelos with the ice cream, and it was like, wow, this tastes so amazing, so delicious. So from there it just took off, and we wanted to create something that felt like home. It felt like, your childhood, something that felt like the holidays as well, because that's where we always, think about buñuelos from. So that's where it all started, and then from there it took off to, okay, let's
try to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and the buñuelo nacho idea, so that's where it is. It's because you're an ice cream lover. Yep. Yes, I'm an ice cream lover too. I can eat ice cream all day long before eating dinner. Jamie is making a funky face.
Because I'm not an ice cream person. I would never eat dessert. Believe it or not, me being a baker, I would never eat dessert after dinner until me and her got together. And it was like, in order to make the meal, you have to make the dinner and the dessert. Like, okay, like, so I knew what was going to come after. Like, just,
yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes. No, I'm a big ice cream eater. I don't need to eat dinner. I just want ice cream. That's what I'm there for. So I had and you say, okay, I'm still stuck on this because I've got them buñuelos my whole life, and I know I'm not saying them right, and I heard Leti say it right now, buñuelos. It's with the ñ. Yeah. And I swear that I'm saying it, but I'm really not saying it.
What do you say?
Buñuelos.
So that's not how you say it.
No. Jamie, you know what? I think it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I could have swore my whole life that's how I've said it. Somebody pointed it out to me. You know who you are. The other day, Everett, and was like, "Girl, that's not how you say it." And I was like, "Well, that's how I've said it my whole life." But she says buñuelos, and I think when that's what he was telling me to say. Just making sure to get that ñ in there, but I didn't have it. So. Anyway, sorry, that's a side note, but I'm like, when she's saying it, I'm like watching her lips to see if I can like imitate it. Anyways, how did you guys decide on the name Buñuelitas?
Like Beetlejuice. Huh?
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Well, buñuelitas pretty much came from us being women and thinking of our moms making the buñuelos as well. And we did our research, we searched online and saw what other names were out there to kind of not be copycatters and be our own original name. And we came up with Buñuelitas, and we're like, it fits. It's us. It's, it's...
I love it. I love it. So, you guys just got married. Not just got married. You guys have been married for a year now. So you guys got married a year ago, a little over a year now. April 4th, 4/20, is their anniversary. So you have 1 year being married, and you started a business.
Yes.
A lot has changed in 1 year, right? If you think back to last May, where you were crazy getting, like, you just got married, so you just got out of like your wedding plans, all of that planning, and you were celebrating 1 month of being married, and now you're here starting your business. That's really crazy to look back and think on, and you guys have such big smiles.
I think
how does that make you feel?
The whole marriage has pretty much been about, is the day, maybe 2 days after we got married, we received an email that we had got accepted into a program to start to start called Boulevard Market that's going to be opening up here in Montebello. Nice. Which we're going to be having our pop-up there.
Okay.
Buñuelitas is going to be resident there, pop-up. And we actually, it started off as Let's Get Baked, and it turned into the Buñuelitas because it just felt a little more family-oriented. It was something new. We did the research, like Leti said, extensive research, and there was nobody selling. Of course, you go to downtown, people selling buñuelos, but the concept, the way we have it, the vision that we had,
you didn't see it anywhere else.
No, nothing.
Nice. And I know you. I mean, I know Jeannie. I know you from work many years ago. I think we've been friends for at least 5 or 6 years now. So when I met you, you were in culinary school, and I think you had already started Let's Get Baked. Or you were starting it at the time.
Barely.
Yeah, it was like
it
going off the ground. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I have known your goodies and your treats for very many years. I can say that your product is amazing. Cinnamon rolls, brownies, cake, now the buñuelos, but I said it right. No, yes to the product. Yes to the product. The product is good. So that's what I know you from. I know you from Let's Get Baked, and obviously I think of you as my friend, but when I think of like your Instagram, I think Let's Get Baked. And so I've gone to events with you. I've seen you grow as a culinary, chef. But is that the right term? Culinary chef? Culinary baker? Yeah. Yeah. Chef. Is it pastry chef? Oh, yeah, duh. I should know since I work with bakery. Hello. A pastry chef. I had not seen you like thriving in buñuelos before. Else. Yeah, that was what you were doing before, and now you're doing buñuelitos, and I think it's like buñuelitas, sorry, and it's different. Yeah, it's different than what you normally sell, but it's different than what everybody is normally selling.
I just feel like it's a whole nother boat going in a whole nother direction. Like,
it is.
You know what I mean? Like we're not in a little canoe anymore. We're in a yacht now. You know what I mean? We got the whole family with us. Like, that's the whole point. Like, that's what I love about it. Like, that we're able to include the whole family. My wife, my mom, our daughter, my sisters, my niece. Like, yesterday, with it being Mother's Day, yesterday was insane. Insane. And it was all hands on deck and frustrating, from time to time. But once it was all said and done, it was so rewarding. And as a family, we felt very accomplished. And, we did the damn thing yesterday. Like, so it was good.
With Let's Get Baked, how involved did you allow your family to be? Because earlier you said with Buñuelitas, it's a family thing. Everybody's involved. I don't remember you allowing everybody to be involved with Let's Get Baked.
Definitely not. The less hands that were on the cake, the better.
But you were just like, I want to take control over this.
Right, because that was my name on it. And then even at that, sometimes I would get a complex. I'm like, I wouldn't want to give it to a customer because I would feel like it's just not good enough. I'd be like, here, you give it to them. And I used to do that. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
But with the Buñuelitas, you have a lot more confidence?
100%. Like,
yes.
And it's so weird because even when I had friends that I went to school with that had the same kind of training, I still would be like, okay, I'll do it. Maybe you guys could do something else, like cut strawberries or like something else, like sift the sugar.
Oh my God, I'm really laughing because this is so when I went with you guys to one of your events, I remember asking you, like, I wanted to help so bad because I felt useless, and you put me to cut strawberries. So that's what you put everybody that you want out of the way to do.
Because you put me to cut strawberries. Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, I could mess that up, honestly.
Well, I was gonna say, but I think I had to
you really did show me how to do it, and you monitored me a little bit to make sure I did it right.
But that sounds right.
Yes, but that's so funny that you put me to cut strawberries. I know that that's how you were with Let's Get Baked. Like, that was just that was your baby.
It was
your
baby.
A
different kind of stress. Like, it was a different kind of stress. I felt like all of the stress was on me. I feel at least with this, I feel like it could be distributed a little evenly.
Yeah, and you're okay with that.
And yeah, I'm definitely okay with it.
And I think go ahead.
I just feel like it's so much more rewarding than the other business.
Yes, really I was gonna say I think that might be something that business owners have to accept in order to create a successful business is that you have to be okay with letting other people run different parts of the business to, you know, create this whole great big thing, because otherwise trying to control it all is hard, you know. I would think, I don't know, I don't have a business, but I would assume. Now something else that I noticed with Let's Get Baked versus Buñuelitas is your marketing skills. Letty, her marketing skills are amazing.
Insane, right?
Yes, all of the Instagram posts, I'm for it. Like, I'm for everything. I'm sharing it. I'm liking it. I'm commenting. It's exciting. You're blowing it up because it, as it should be, right? It's a great product. So I mean, I think you're doing a really good job. And how is that for you? Because you go to work, you are a wife, a new wife, right? A mom, and you're like in charge of like the marketing. And I don't know that was like something that was put on you. It's more so something I think that happened naturally.
It's more her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel?
I feel like it's a lot, definitely, but I want to do it. Like, I want to, you know, go to work and come home to my family and be a wife, be a mom, and still do some social networking and do some marketing to better the business, because I don't want to have to go to work for the rest of my life. I want the business to bloom. I want generational wealth for our family. You know, that's the main goal.
That's amazing. And
when
that's
you do
so good to
something
hear.
you love, it doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. Like, and I notice when she goes to work goes to work and has to work, to come home to still have to work, like, it's a totally different thing for her. Like, she loves it.
So after I recorded the first episode of Mujeres de Pilar and I released it and I, you know, whatever, was sending it out on social media, I went back to work 2 days later and I did not want to be there because I was just like, oh no, I'm supposed to be at home recording. I'm supposed to be interviewing people. I'm supposed to be networking, trying to find, you know, women that I want to, you know, send into the world, like, that I want to, you know, promote, kind of. And so I can understand, like, coming home and working with Buñuelitas is not like work, you know. It's something that you guys love to do.
When you've experienced something else that you're just like, gosh, this is it. This is what I want to be doing.
I love it.
So going to work and like, this is what I have to be doing.
Nice.
Like, it's a big difference.
Oh,
sure.
You know,
I'm
we don't
happy.
mind. We don't mind the waking up early to go get supplies, you know, before I go to work.
Yeah, because you guys go to LA to the produce, and you guys are out there early. I've seen your
3
snaps.
a.m. they open, so sometimes we gotta be in line, especially for those good strawberries, you know.
Yeah, that I have to cut. Yeah. Just kidding. I haven't cut any strawberries in a long time. I don't think I did a good job. I got fired.
No, you were great. You were great.
All right. I want to know something else though before we move on. And from Let's Get Baked, how hard was switching that focus for you? How hard was switching the focus over from Let's Get Baked to Buñuelitas? For you, Jamie, specifically.
It was hard because I felt like Let's Get Baked was my baby. I felt like there was so much emotional attachment involved in that business. But I'll be 100% honest and say that I didn't run it like a business. It was more of an expensive hobby, like I said before. And I didn't like the fact that it would be 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning and she's already asleep and I'm still in the kitchen and there's nothing she could do to help me or even just sit there.
You weren't letting her help you.
Well,
just kidding.
I mean, even at that, there's some things like the fondant pieces, to make little
like
things where it's like she just like, I don't know how to do that. Like, so, you know, I like the fact that we could work together, even if we're up late at night or if we got to get up early in the morning, we're doing it together. It's, I like it. It's different, like I said, but it's enjoyable. It really is.
And I also want to ask another question. So, with Let's Get Baked and even with Buñuelitas, you make everything out of your house. So, this is you going to the store, shopping for the product, coming home, producing the product, driving your car to people's houses to drop off the product. Have you noticed with, like, I know that we've had conversation before in the past where, like, some people didn't want to purchase some of your, you know, cakes or your, you know, cinnamon rolls or your brownies or whatever it was because of the price, right? have you noticed that happen with Buñuelitas? Anybody straying away from product because of the amount? I don't think that the price is bad for what you're getting. But have you noticed that? No.
No, we haven't had any.
And that's great. That's a blessing, especially right now during like coronavirus season.
Right.
Like,
and that's the most expensive thing that we have on our whole menu.
Yes, it's
which
really
is
interesting
insane to us because people can also order individual servings, you know, if they don't have the 4 people.
No, girl, if I'm ordering from you, I want the family meal.
And I think that's what people are like, you know what, like, it's only me. But like yesterday we had somebody that bought a box to be delivered to somebody from another state. They didn't want to answer, so we had to send it back to the person that ordered, and it's like, wow, you know, we're sorry you had to go through that, but on the bright side, you get a whole box of the dome, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's win-win a little bit, so, I mean, it just depends.
And I also want to comment on, so, because we're talking about price, what, you know, the listeners, because most of the listeners are probably customers. Mm-hmm. They're not probably the ones that are in the kitchen making the product, or they're buying the product. Mm-hmm. They're not selling it. But what do you think is something that you want them to understand? You know, starting a business, when you're supporting an independent business, sometimes I don't know how to express what I'm trying to ask you. I just think sometimes people don't want to buy because that price like scares them, and they're like, oh, I can go to some basic chain store and buy it cheaper. What are they like missing? What are they not understanding? Because I understand, and I want you to tell them what they need to know.
Well, I feel like it just goes with anything. The thing with Buñuelitas is it's customizable. Mm-hmm. You can customize it to however you want. Mm-hmm. Anything you buy that's customized for you is always going to be a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, we use quality ingredients. Mm-hmm. There's nothing cheap about anything we use. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we sat here and went down a list of the stuff, you know, you'd be like, okay, wow, like maybe, you know.
Yeah.
Letty also did her research online, like other businesses that were selling packages, box deals, like what their rate and going things were, and we found a good medium for ourselves, you know, to make it a lucrative business, and for our customers to be able to afford it and to want to keep ordering it. And we feel like the package gives you enough to share. It's worth it.
It totally does. It lasted me multiple days. It was great. I think that sometimes, you know, and because I'm a customer, okay, I think sometimes, and the reason that I'm bringing up price is because I want people to understand that it is so important to support our local businesses, especially like for me, our Latino community, supporting, you know, independent businesses. I think sometimes price strays us away because what we're forgetting is we just want the product, and we think we're only paying for the product, but what we're paying for is the product, obviously, how it looks, so the quality, also how it tastes, and for the hard work that's going into making it. You are not at like, you know, a big old bakery where you are just mass producing a lot of product.
Able to buy in bulk.
And able to buy in bulk. You're not buying in bulk. You are literally like, you're starting off. And I think that that's what a lot of people miss, and that's why they don't, you know, really want to pay. But I think with Buñuelitas, I have seen you guys financially thrive. Like, right. I don't know your finances, but from what I'm seeing, you are doing really, really great. I think maybe with Let's Get Baked, some people didn't pay attention to those things, or they just didn't know. I'm just going to say that they were ignorant to those things because they were not aware of all the hard work. How long does it take you to produce a cake, Jamie?
Start to finish, from buying everything to baking to washing the dishes to cleaning the kitchen at the end of every order, like a good 6-7 hours, like on something basic, you know. And it's a lot of hard work. And I buy, like I said, I don't buy in bulk because our house is not big. We don't have like a huge storage area specifically for our ingredients and ingredient room, so it's really hard. So I buy
per
order. Which means it's going to be a little more expensive when I buy.
Yes.
So, and I don't think people take that into consideration, that, or the time, you know, they go to work every day, you get paid by the hour. I would like to get paid by the hour too. So,
and they're not, and see, we've talked about this before, and that really hit me when you were like, okay, well, when you go to work, how much do you get paid by the hour? You know, put a price on it. What are you worth for that hour? And multiply that by the 8 hours that you're working. Okay, well, it's taking me 8 hours to make your one cake. I would like to get paid, and that's just my work. That does not include the cost of what I had to purchase to produce it and the quality that goes into it, because your product is always top quality. Like, I can say that I have never had anything of yours that I am just like, ugh, this is, it tastes cheap. You know what I mean?
And I think because I'm so picky too, so we really wanted to make sure we put.
I wanted the listeners to understand that. Like, I know you guys are like, why does she keep, commenting on this? But I really wanted them to understand that something that we, have talked about in the past, and it's something that I really sit with, and it helps me also to understand, when I'm buying from small businesses, why those prices are like that. Well, of course, if you're a multi-million-dollar chain, then, of course, you can afford to put things on the rack a little bit cheaper. But when you are not, and you are literally at home, sweat and tears going into this person's product, cake or whatever it is, it's a different price on it. It's also an emotional price on it too, because you have a lot of workers. When you have a big business, you have a lot of people making it. There's two.
A factory
there's
somewhere.
2 people here. Do you know what I mean? And of course, your family and friends, but even then, that's a small amount of people putting their sweat and tears into this business. But something that I can say is that you really do get the emotion of your guys' food into people's homes. So the day that you guys dropped the buñuelitas over to us, I was excited, just because it's happening. I've been hearing you talk about it. You've been telling me about it. And so I was just like, yes, it's here. I was excited to have it. But I posted all over my Instagram me eating. It was so good. Yes, everything was just so good. And I think what made it better is that I could feel how much you guys love your business. You love the product. Like, every little chip, right? And is this a Leti thing, I think, was organized, right? The stickers, the paper, everything was just I opened it and it was ready for a picture. And I think that's so important, because at my job, before all of this coronavirus, I used to teach that. At my job. It's like a gift. Every box you're giving out is a gift. Literally, I received my gift, and you could feel that wholesomeness. So you said earlier that you wanted to, bring people into their homes and give them kind of like a little nostalgic memory of them, eating buñuelos as children. And I had that. I could taste myself eating them with family, and I was with my boyfriend eating, but all of your love is in there, minus the ingredients. Your love is I can taste it. So you guys are doing,
and that's our mission right
job.
There.
Mm-hmm. And
that's definitely our mission.
Y'all hit it. You hit it, because I was just oh my gosh, and even though it was just me and my boyfriend eating it, I felt like I was with you guys. You guys were there with me. So you guys bringing that presence into people's homes, it's there. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you keep paying attention to the detail, it's there, and the quality. I want to know another question. It's a little bit more serious. So, being women, being in the same-sex marriage, and being Mexican, have you seen any struggles with trying to create the business? Have you felt any backlash from, your own community, from outside communities, from business people, because of any of those 3 things? Because sometimes those are 3 key things that sometimes hold us back. I think that they empower us, but on to the rest of the world, I think that those are 3 traits that might hold people back sometimes.
Well, recently we've had a lot of love and support from the Latinx community.
Overwhelming.
Yes, definitely. And we love it. And but we did have an occasion where,
well, everyone's gonna have their little haters. It took us a minute. I'm not gonna front. It took us a minute to get buñuelitas off the ground. I don't know if it was a lack of motivation, or if we just felt very I don't know, discouraged, lack of support. It was something. You know what I mean? And you have those people that just are looking at your page every day, that are looking at your stories every day, just to see you not really moving. You know what I mean? But once you start doing good, you notice, hey, they didn't look at our story today. Hey, they didn't look at our story today. Hey, what happened? What happened?
They don't want to know your success. They don't want to know you're doing good.
I mean, I personally, that just motivates me just a little bit more. That's in my personality. I think I care less. You know what I mean? So I enjoy that a little bit. So it's like, okay, like we're doing something right. If you don't want to look anymore, we're doing something right.
And that's encouraging, I think, for young women, Latinos, and anybody from the LGBTQ community to know, you know, is I think people's eyes are opening. I think that we're trying our best to move forward. Women being in key business positions, Latinos having their own businesses, people accepting same-sex marriage. Like, it always feels like we've gone so far, and then sometimes like something happens and you're just like, man, we're back to where we were like years ago. Aren't people over, you know, the race thing or the gay thing or whatever? But it's important to know that people with these qualities are thriving. And I think that, you know, your story is very important to be shared. I want to know, you know, this is your first relationship with a woman. Yes. So
like real relationship, yeah.
Yes.
Not just go out, have a drink kind of weird thing.
So this is new. No, it's
should I not have said that? Like,
no,
I mean,
okay.
You know,
you have some
your
people have
college
experiences
days or whatever people want to call it. You know, you experiment. Like, okay, whatever. But
now y'all are married. You are married.
Yeah, like the first day that I met her, didn't hold her hand, didn't kiss her, nothing. She walked out the door. I called my friend, like, I'm gonna marry this bitch. Like, so weird. And it's funny because on our wedding day, my friend was like, do you remember the day she left your house? You called me, joke. And I'm like, I do remember that. Like, that was so funny because I was being serious.
Well,
like,
you spoke it into existence, honestly. Like, you said it and it happened. And I mean, everything is different for you. Like, it's a different dynamic now. I see a different Jamie than before, but never in, like, a negative way. Nothing but, like, positives, honestly. Right. This marriage, the business.
You knew me in my 20s. Or late, barely getting into my 30s. My 20s, I was a mess.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Jamie.
Like, a mess, meaning, like, I didn't know who I was. I was convinced I knew what I wanted in life and what kind of person I wanted to be with, and none of that couldn't have been further from what I have now. So I never knew that this is what I needed. You know, I never knew that the she was what I needed in my life, that Jocelyn is what I needed. Like, this whole path was exactly where I needed to be on.
And what about you, Leti? How much has changed for you?
How much has changed for me? I'm sorry. I got a little...
It's okay. I know. She's teary-eyed right now. She's emotional right now. I love it. If you guys could see, like, the love in this room, like, we're all smiling. We've been smiling the whole time. My lashes are falling off because I'm crying now.
So can you repeat the question?
No. Just how much, I mean, and I don't even know if that's, like, a good question, how much has changed for you, but this isn't where you saw your life going, right? Yeah. No. So how has it been, this transition? Because I've only ever been with a man, but I don't know. I just feel like the dynamics are different between women and men. And I think maybe your past experiences have led you to be the women that you are today, and which makes you so compatible for each other, because you guys can, I mean, I don't know. I know Jamie a little bit better than I know you, Leti, but I just think you offer this energy to each other that kind of brings each other to peace. So how does that feel for you in this relationship? Like, almost like safety.
Yeah, definitely. You know, everybody has their own paths, you know, but with me, I was in an abusive relationship in the past, and I never wanted to go back to that. And when I met Jamie, besides the fact of, you know, loving her personality and just her alone, I felt safe and I felt at home. I felt that she can protect me no matter what. And Jocelyn too, you know, I know that it wasn't just me that I had to think about. It was me and Jocelyn. And growing up as a little girl, Mexican Catholic household, you think you're gonna marry a man. You know, that's what, all you know. And I never knew that this could be something that can make me feel so complete. Like I remember Jamie giving me a Valentine's card that had a puzzle piece, and that's what really like
sealed the deal.
Solidified.
Yeah.
Solidified, I guess, the fact that, you know, we were meant for each other. Like she completed that piece that I was missing.
So I had the honor of marrying you guys. Okay, there's like nothing but tears in this room right now, guys.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I am. You're right. I had the honor of being able to marry you. So first of all, I was really nervous when I was marrying you guys because I thought I wasn't gonna really marry you. And what I mean is there's just like a lot of rules. There are certain verbiage that needs to be said in order for the marriage to be real.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and so I was scared. I was like, what if I don't say that word? You know, like I had it highlighted like 30 different times. But it was such an honor to be able to marry you guys and to attend your wedding. I've attended a lot of weddings. I've never married anybody, but I was, you know, really nervous because one, because of just that, I was scared that I wasn't going to actually marry you. Two, because I felt the need and the desire to speak, obviously, on behalf of the fact that you are women. And obviously, anybody who's attending the wedding knows that you are two women. But I felt like, okay, there was some... So I also believe in God. And I like to think he uses me through my voice. Like, I like to think that he uses, you know, my words. That's his way of getting across to people. And so I felt the need to speak on it, to speak on the fact that you were marrying each other. You were married on 420. Yes. So if y'all don't get the hint, okay,
you better ask somebody.
You better ask somebody. But so it was a 420 friendly wedding, okay, literally. And
respectably,
then it was very respectable. And I think that it was just very classy. Like, it was very classy. I have never been to, a wedding that was so authentic. Like I said, I've been to so many marriages, and I love to see people get married. I think it's such an important, you know, part of life, and to be invited to a wedding is a huge deal. So don't be backing out of your friends' weddings. You know, better show up if you get an invite,
because we paid for your seat.
Yes, and you paid for their invitation. Yes. So, you know, I also, you know, I felt the need to talk about that. I felt the need to talk about the two of you marrying each other. And then also I felt the need to bring God somewhere into that, because God is important in both of your lives. You are both believers of God. And so I felt, you know, I didn't really struggle with writing, you know, my speech and putting it all together. I was just worried, like, okay, there are some family members who are very accepting of this, and there are some family members who are not. How can I get across to these people that what is happening is okay? And I think that some people struggle with understanding me, which I don't need them to understand me, but how I am so pro certain things and yet so godly, quote unquote. But I think that God loves everybody. Going to your wedding, it's very easy to get, I would assume, when you're planning a wedding, to be like, my guest, or I want to do this because I want it to look like this and I want it to be like this. Everything was about you guys that day, and that's very rare. That sounds weird. People are probably like, well, it's their wedding, it should be that. Exactly, it should be, but that's not always the case. Your wedding was 100% you. It was 100% like, if you don't like it, don't come.
Yeah, that was it. The food is what we liked. If you don't like it, hey, you can eat before.
Yeah.
The ice cream, everything.
Yeah, you guys had so much ice cream. I was in ice cream heaven. I really was.
It was a 420 family wedding, so we need to have...
And it had good music and good people. Like, I just have not experienced anything like that. It was such a good vibe. And I think, you know, that speaks on your relationship.
And you were amazing. Let me just say that you
don't have to tell me that.
There was not a dry eye in the house, first of all.
I love you.
Everybody was like, she was amazing. Like, just everything you said just...
perfect.
Was perfect.
I'm happy.
It was perfect. You can tell you put so much time and emotion and feeling and thought into every word that you said, and it let everybody know exactly how we were feeling, exactly why we were getting married. Like, we didn't have a chance to sit down and talk to every one of our guests and tell them, this is why we're getting married, guys. This is why we, we shouldn't have to, like,
you shouldn't have to,
but it explained to people, like, in case you were wondering, because you've never seen me with a woman before. My family's never seen me. So all of a sudden, I bring Leti, and it's like, nobody said nothing. Nobody blinked an eye. They were just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. They weren't like, wait a minute, you're a lesbian?
But you know what, though, Jamie? I feel like your family and your friends and people who know you know, like, okay, I better just keep my mouth shut because she is honestly, like, I'm just saying, like, because I have no problem being vocal with you because I think you allow me that space.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do think you respect me, but I think you will be real quick to put somebody in their place, like, mind your business.
And I never thought about that until you said that right now, that maybe that's probably why. I would have ripped somebody's head off and been like, say it again, I dare you. She would have. Say it again, I dare you. Like, like, I would have definitely been like, yeah.
And what about you, Leti? I know, but for our listeners, how was that, I want to say coming out stage, but it's just like, not that you identify as anything specifically, just that you are marrying a woman. And to the rest of the world, like, however you identify, this sounds bad. How you identify should matter only to you. Because the rest of the world is going to identify you as whatever they want to identify you as. So how was that transition for you?
It was a tough one. It was, I think the hardest part was telling my parents and my daughter, more than anything, my parents, because I knew they were not going to be accepting, just because they're very religious. They're Catholic marriage teachers. They're in a group, so they've been, believing this one thing, and for me to come with them with this, it's like a whole 360 to them.
Yes.
So it was tough, but I know that God definitely touched their souls and gave them that belief that it's okay, it's not a sin, it's, I still love your daughter, she's still my daughter, because that was definitely something that was said from them, that God didn't love me.
Yeah. And I think too, Leti, and you're emotional and you have every right to be, but I think that it's just a belief that you are, it's not their fault.
Right. And
they were raised in that environment. And see, the thing is, it is. And in the Bible, there are places in the Bible where it's like makes people believe that, it is a sin. But what's not a sin is love. And you cannot help who you love. And you cannot help who you love. And we sin every day. Even the most perfect of people sin every single day. So I think that it's God knows that what you are doing is pure. It's out of a good place. It's not out of disrespect for him. And so he acknowledges that. I believe that.
And that's why I never felt bad about it. Like I can remember being in a relationship with a guy and having that guilt still, because it didn't come from a place of love.
Ooh.
Or
and
purity.
You were with a guy. Yeah.
So with her, I'm like, I'm not going to feel sorry or apologize or feel guilty for loving somebody, like actually loving somebody purely. You know what I mean? There was no sex involved. There was none of that had it ever even come into play. My emotions,
your souls, is what was connected.
Like I fell in love with her before there was any kind of physical activity going on, which is weird because in any other relationship before, the physical came before that, or the emotional never even came at all. It never even got past the physical. You know what I mean? Like so, it was just.
This was very pure.
It was 100%. There was, it just, I knew it. Like, I just knew what it was.
And that's so amazing. And honestly, your wedding for me was just, and I think for the listeners, it's just like a great example to live by, to just live authentically, to just live the best version of yourself that you can. Live unapologetically. Do what makes you happy, because you get this one life, and it's so easy to get wrapped up, even like on social media, to get wrapped up in like what everybody has to say. or what our families have to say. And yes, I do believe, because how I was raised, to do things respectfully, but to still do them like your own way. Do you know what I mean? Like I will never disrespect my parents. That's never my intention. And I think that was your guys' thing.
Right. That's how the wedding was. It was a 420 friendly wedding, but it was separate.
It was very respectfully done.
It was upstairs away from the rest of the guests. Mm-hmm. None of that stuff was involved downstairs, but hey, upstairs it was pretty popping. Like,
yeah, but that's something that's important in your lifestyle.
And it was included in the invitation where it said it's an adult wedding,
But you still had a lot of guests that did not, but I think that just shows what type of individuals you are. You have a lot of support. You have a lot of love. And even at the moments in time where you didn't feel that support, it's really crazy how family still comes through.
Right.
Like, your family was present, Leti.
Yes.
Even though they struggled with it, and God is still working in them to understand your decisions, because it's really not for people to understand our decisions. Like, our decisions are our decisions. But I think what you said, he is working in them to have a better understanding, and I think that's what it is a fear. They have a fear that, like, oh my God, my daughter's not going to go to heaven. She's not going to be with God because she's doing this. And I think you said it perfect, because I never thought of it that way. And whether it's, being in a same-sex marriage or stealing or doing drugs or whatever, that's always probably a religious parent's fear is, oh my God, they're not with God.
Yeah, they don't fear. I don't think they fear the fact that she's in a bad relationship or that she's with someone that doesn't love her.
No, they fear that
because she's gonna go to hell because she's with a woman.
Yes, it's deeper than that.
I mean?
It's deeper than that. And I'm not a parent, but you just gave me like some insight that I had never really pondered on before.
And that's why we sit down and we talk to Jocelyn about being open.
And just so y'all know, we keep saying Jocelyn, but Jocelyn is Leti's daughter. Yeah, Jocelyn is Leti's daughter, now Jamie's daughter.
My baby.
And so that's like crazy too, because you had to go from, you were in a relationship with a man, Jocelyn's dad, and now you're with a woman. So it's a transition for Jocelyn too, because she's not like a baby where she's just growing up and it's just normal to her. This is something new to her also. The business is new to her also. Yes. And maybe in some areas where she used to have all of your attention, now she's learning to share your attention. Yeah. But I think for good reasons. Like, these are all good examples. Everything you're doing is good for her to see. Marrying who you want to marry because of love. That's a great example. Starting your own business, becoming an entrepreneur. Like, that's a great way to show her. Like, that's a whole different level of, like, working mom. You know what I mean? Like, you're on a different level right now. And so I know that sometimes the world shames, mothers for all kinds of reasons. But sometimes they might throw shame because they're just like, oh, well, she's working and she has, she's in a new marriage and she's doing this and,
So when does she have time
for her daughter? But you make the time. I know that you make the time. So I give you, like, a lot of credit. How is that for you? It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. But we definitely, like, Mondays is my day off that we dedicate for the family, because besides my other day off, Saturday, we dedicate for the business, doing the deliveries and everything else. And so Monday we try to just dedicate for family time, and having her shared custody with her father, it also gives us some, us time to work on the business on the days that we don't have her, so that on the days that we do, we can actually dedicate some time to her.
That's great, though. You find a way to make it work, and I can see the way that you are, the way you carry yourself is very, like, organized. Honestly, Jamie's like rolling her eyes.
Organized over here. I'm like, because if it wasn't for her.
No, you are. She's very well informed, very organized. You're doing like the networking. You're going to work. Like, you have a plate full. But I think when it's like when you go to a buffet, right? Like, and you just have a plate filled with everything that you're choosing, everything that you want. It's like so fulfilling. I want to go back to Jocelyn really quickly.
Yes.
What does she think about the business? How does she feel about the business? Does she eat the product?
She loves it.
Oh, she loves the product. Yes, everybody. It's hard to not love it.
She's an ice cream lover like her mama.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Yes.
And she is, so I guess that this little part right here, she is 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the same age as my goddaughter. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for like 12-year-olds because that's how old my goddaughter is. And I think it's a very interesting phase. So obviously my goddaughter lives in Arizona. I'm very far from her. But I try to be involved, and when I'm with her, I love, you know, spending time with her and talking to her, picking her brain. I think at this age, they're very difficult. I think 12-year-olds are... I remember when I was going to school to be a teacher, that was the specific age. Not a grade, age. I wanted to work with 12-year-olds because I remember being the most influenced at that age. At 12 was when I decided I wanted to be an actress. At 12 is when I already kind of knew. I didn't say it openly, but I wanted to leave Arizona. I had made, at 12 it sounds crazy, is when I met my boyfriend for the first time. There's like a lot of, it's really weird. Like I remember 12 just being a very influential phase in my life, as far as thinking about my future. The day that I met my boyfriend, I knew that he was going to be my boyfriend one day. We didn't start dating until we were like 18 or 19. But at 12 years old, I told my best friend at the time, he's going to be my boyfriend. And and she was like, no, he's not. And I'm like, no, he really is. And it didn't happen right away. It happened years later. But so I feel like the girls are very influenced at this age. So what is it like when you're working on the business and you're dedicating time to the business? What is it that you want her to know? What is it that you want our listeners to know?
That it's hard work to build a business from the ground up, but it's also very gratifying. And you know,
balance is possible.
How the sure saying says, you don't want to work for the man, you want to work.
You want to be the man, yeah, or the woman, yes. And I think that's great. You're giving her a great example. You are like my mom worked my whole life, and probably got some shame for that, right? Because she worked, you know, a lot of hours, but she came home, she made dinner, she made sure that I did my homework. I would go to work with her, which was really cool now that I think about it, that I'm older, because I always saw her in her zone. And I didn't notice it then. I didn't respect it then. I was probably like ready to just be home, like eating hot Cheetos and watching TV or something, or like singing in the shower. But I think I'm really blessed that I got to see her in her zone working, because it sparked something in me at a very young age. Like, I want to have a job. Yes, and I've been working since I was 14. So, I mean, I think that that's a really good example for her. You can start your own business. You can be your own person. You don't have to go to work for somebody every single day. Your possibilities are endless. And you said it earlier, generational wealth. Like, this is going to create that for her. You know,
we want to teach her how to earn the money, how to,
and also help others. When you give back.
I love it. Yes. And what community do you guys feel like you're gearing towards, like, giving back to once this starts to thrive? That just popped off in my head.
The community that we live in, you know what I mean? Our community of Montebello is small, but I personally, I've lived here my whole life, born Beverly Hospital here in Montebello.
Yes. Okay, girl, you better give him a shout out.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, she grew up in Southgate, you know, so.
Any other final words that you guys want to say to anybody who is maybe going through or experiencing what you've experienced, whether it be relationship, whether it be business? Any last words you guys want to comment on?
Just don't be afraid to take the risk. It's extremely rewarding. It's scary as hell, but extremely rewarding. Like I told you earlier, there is no plan B for us. I can't even say this has to work. Like, this is gonna work.
Well, we're gonna have a giveaway coming out.
Oh yes, we're actually having a giveaway. Thank you for reminding me. See, this is what I mean, organization.
Yes.
We're gonna be having a giveaway coming up for the graduates who unfortunately were not able to graduate and just be with their friends. The seniors, you know, your senior year is the most important year, the most memorable.
Yes.
Senior trips canceled,
Mm-hmm.
proms canceled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sucks.
It
So
does.
we really wanted to try to do something special, you
I
know,
love
for the
this.
kids. And
Yes.
so what we're doing is we're teaming up with La Brava Art, which is a artist that's I want to say she's out of Rosemead.
Okay.
I used to work with her as a coworker. Her and her husband are amazingly talented.
Yes.
He does a lot of woodwork, and she's an artist. She paints everything, and she's going to be doing a digital portrait of the graduate, and and a card, a personalized card that she's going to be designing. We're going to be giving away a family box and some balloons, you know, delivered special, you know, to somebody who wins, and hopefully that'll bring some sort of sweet smile, some
I'm
sort
excited.
of love for these graduates.
Yes. All right, guys. So make sure that you are following Buñuelitas on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, so that you guys
Twitter,
and
everything.
Twitter, everything. They got it all, so that
Yes.
you guys can keep up with this giveaway. If you know any graduates who can benefit from this, this is amazing. I'm excited. And can you tell me the artist name again?
La Brava Art.
Awesome. And so I'm going to tag them on the video as well, so that you guys can follow them and you guys can see all of this beautiful work that they're putting out into the community. So thank you, ladies, again. I think anybody listening, if this is not an example of love and thriving and following your dreams, I don't know what is. So I hope you guys have been encouraged today. One last thing before we end, I am going to be asking all of my guests to give me a song and to give me a song to promote their episode on my Instagram. And I just wanted to share. I wasn't gonna originally do this, but when they told me the song that they wanted to use, I was like, okay, I need to do this with everybody to see what their song would be. Can you please let them know what song?
It was between Snoop Dogg's Lottie Dottie, and we came down with the decision of Too Short's Blow the Whistle.
Yes.
Because
so whenever you guys are thinking of Buñuelitas, can you please think of Too Short, Blow the Whistle? Because that is their anthem right now.
We took back the word bitch, okay?
Yes.
That is our favorite word. That word is so expressive. I could use it when I'm mad, happy, excited, sad, when I'm confused, shocked. Depending on how you say it. So that's a bitch. Bitch.
Yes.
Bitch. Like, you know.
You're owning it. You're owning it.
We got it.
You're taking it back. And you know what? Honestly, like, I try to control my mouth in front of my mama because I respect her so much. But I actually have the worst mouth, but I always read that means that I'm very educated. So I
heard people that cuss the most are the most honest. They're very
they're just blunt,
very forward.
And I cuss a lot, and I really do in front of like my elders and others. I really do try to hold my tongue, but with my friends I don't. But with my friends I don't. So I don't. So I love that you are just taking the word back and you're owning it. So whenever you guys think of Buñuelitas, think of Too Short. Think of
my favorite word.
Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 of Mujeres de Pilar, featuring Jamie and Leti Luna. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. I hope you guys felt encouraged today. Don't forget to follow Buñuelitas on all of the social media sites. And don't forget to follow Mujeres de Pilar on Instagram and listen on SoundCloud or YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Have a good day, guys.